now, you're tuned into RBLR, the home of Tampa Bay's Reveler Sports.
Hi, everybody, and thank you for listening to your RBLR Rays podcast. I'm Ben. Zach is on the IL, I guess, maybe like the parental leave. I don't know what we're going to call it, but he's out today. So with me is a special guest. We've had him on before. You probably know his Rays Farm Report Twitter account, and it's Jacob Macauley. How's it going, Jacob?
Doing great. How about you?
Yeah, pretty good. Just enjoyed the first game of the World Series last night. I mean, I didn't enjoy it. I just, kind of watched it because I feel like I have to. I don't care too much. I don't know if that makes me a bad fan, but I don't really care unless my team's in it. So It was still fun to watch, though. Good game. Nice to see Verlander get knocked around a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. It was a great game, though, for sure. That was a lot of back and forth. It was just phenomenal. That comeback from the Phillies was unbelievable.
Yeah, it's always nice to see comebacks and stuff like that. It's pretty fun. So I don't know. I've always liked underdog teams, but I mean the Phillies and the Astros, I guess they're not really neither of them are really true underdogs right now. They're both, they've stormed right through the postseason. So whatever. So we got some questions and stuff on Twitter. We're going to talk about the Rule 5 draft today. I've seen a lot of things about it online, heard a lot of things about it, and there's some misunderstanding surrounding it. So I thought this would be a great topic today to talk about the Rule 5 draft and all those kinds of things. But first, let's get into some of our Twitter questions. I didn't post on Reddit because I didn't want to make a whole post for it, and then somebody would just say something mean to me, and then I would just feel bad. So I just did Reddit today, Twitter today, and that's fine. So I know you posted yesterday, so do you want to cover your questions first?
Yeah. So the first question from Twitter user Jake Larson. He asked, do you expect to see any trades for Major League talent? I definitely expect the Rays to make a few moves for some Major League guys. I definitely think they're going to make a push for a bat in the trade market. And definitely some relievers, maybe dump some Rule 5 guys. What do you think on that?
Oh yeah, definitely. I see the need for a pretty decent to significant power bat. I'd prefer a left-handed guy, just because it would help balance the lineup a bit. The Rays struggled against right-handed pitching a little bit last year, more than expected at least. So Brandon Lau being out definitely affected that, but I do want to see them trade for a bat, and then whatever they can get, in terms of pitching is probably going to be fine because they're going to work their magic. And if they get a reliever or two, or they get a starter / bulk type guy, they're going to make it work. So I'm excited to see the trades because there are so many players. I think they have 51 players on who have to fit into 40 spots on the 40-man. So it's gonna be pretty crazy. Literally as soon as the World Series ends, I think November 5th is the date they can start doing all that stuff. Yeah. Or get the wheels turning. So I'm really excited to see all the trades that are going to happen.
Yeah, it's going to be really cool to see. A lot of movement for sure.
Yeah.
Next question comes from Twitter user Charleston Horns. He asks, who are the best players at low levels that are at risk of moving? What do you think?
I kind of thought of this as moving in the Rule 5 draft, but then I also thought maybe he meant a trade to
Yeah. I took it as a trade.
So, okay. Yeah. So, either way, I don't know. I think anybody that had a really good season and maybe they want to sell high. It wasn't the best season ever, but Heriberto Hernandez, I feel maybe they could just move him. I know he's Rule 5 eligible. I don't think he'll be taken because he only played into high A, double A?
High A. He only got to high A.
Okay, yeah, it was high A. So I don't think, it's pretty unlikely he'd be taken, but he is someone that I think they could move for a non-Rule 5 eligible guy, probably also in lower high A, and then they just keep him for a bit.
Yeah.
I don't know, but what about you?
Yeah, I also could see a Heriberto Hernandez get moved just because I don't know where he sticks in a defensive position. And not quite sure his bat is good enough to stick in at a DH, but I think anybody is kind of open, just depending on the price.
Yeah, they're going to listen to calls for everybody because they do that all the time. Like that's just the way they operate. So should be interesting. And yeah, I mean, maybe somebody like, I mean, it's not like low level. Greg Jones, like he's kind of like stalling out in Double A right now. He didn't have a great season. He's never really like put it all together for a consistent period of time, but I don't see him getting taken in the Rule 5 draft, but I could see them maybe like moving him. I don't know. What about you?
Yeah, I think Greg Jones is definitely a guy that they're going to look to move. I think it could be like for a rookie ball player potentially. I just don't see where he has like a future on the roster because he was pretty bad this year, like you said. And he's not the greatest defender in the world. So.
Yeah, I mean, he's got like 70 grade speed or whatever, and then that's kind of it. Like he struggles to make contact. The power is decent, but you know, if you can't make contact, it doesn't really matter. Like there are those kind of guys who can hit the ball really hard but strike out like 30 or 40% of the time. That's like there are so many of those players. So there's nothing that really makes him that special. I mean, other than that speed. So maybe he can put it all together. Maybe they keep him. Maybe he goes somewhere else. Yeah, I was high on him when they drafted him, but now I'm kind of losing steam. But yeah.
Yeah, he had the potential to be a really cool player.
Yeah, definitely. I saw a question on here that, or a couple of them, I think that might be a little bit more relevant, like later when we get more into the Rule 5 stuff from a Twitter user, Bench Connor. So maybe we could save that one for later. But he did have another question that said, how do I listen? And he's probably referring to this podcast. So if you're listening to it right now, you're doing a great job. Keep up the great work. If you want to listen to this, if you're not hearing me right now, definitely go check us out on Twitter, Instagram, all the major social medias, all the major podcast platforms. You know, like, follow, comment, subscribe, support, donate, purchase, all those things. Follow us at RBLR Sports pretty much everywhere. YouTube too, I'm pretty sure, right? Yeah, YouTube. So those of you that are listening, great job. If it's your first time listening, go do that, because there's like a little like glitch where you're not going to be able to listen to the rest of the episode unless you support us right now and then buy like $100 worth of merchandise. So definitely go do that, and then you can come back and listen to the rest of our conversation here. So if it wasn't clear, I am kidding, but please do listen and like, subscribe, all that stuff. Yeah, so I think that's it for the questions on your replies there.
I had a direct message. I had a DM.
Oh, okay, cool.
Jose Siri fan on Twitter asked, who out of Basabe, Wisely, Shenton, Jones, and Edwards is most likely to make the 40-man roster? Who do you think out of those players makes the 40-man?
Okay, so you said Basabe, Shenton, and who else?
Basabe, Wisely, Shenton, Jones, and Edwards.
Okay, I mean, I feel like we're going to have the same answer here, but I think Edwards, he just seems like the most, I mean, I don't think he's MLB ready, but I think he's the most out of those guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I think defensively improved a ton this year. The contact rates kind of stayed the same. The exit velocities got a lot better this year for him, and then he has great plate discipline as well. Like, he's someone that's going to make an impact very soon on the Rays roster.
Yeah, definitely. Like, even if it's like, you know, he gets to the majors this year, I don't think he could make the team out of spring training, really. I don't think that's a possibility. No. But if he makes it to the majors at some point, he would be a solid like pinch runner, defensive replacement, like maybe kind of pinch hitter if you literally just need someone to put the ball in play, because he's, you know, almost guaranteed to do that at a pretty high rate. So he does have some use this year, but I think long term he's a pretty exciting player, and I really like his potential. He just really sprays like, you know, soft line drives everywhere, and there's some value in that, especially with the rule changes coming up.
Yeah, for sure.
It seems like he would fit in really well with the Guardians with that kind of approach.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he's basically like a switch hitting Stephen Kwan.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, maybe he gets dealt. I don't think so, because he seems like the perfect like Rays player with the new run environment with the rule change, like I said. So hopefully he sticks around. But either way, if he does move, I think he could probably get a nice haul.
For sure.
All right. I also had a question from Jose Siri fan, and he said, which prospects could you see getting moved for younger guys like Tobias Myers was last year? And that made me think like maybe another guy they want to sell high on in AA, AAA, maybe like Cam Meisner. I know they just got him for Joey Wendell not too long ago, so I kind of want to see what he can do, maybe with another season, but he could be someone that they move because he was getting on base at like a crazy rate. And I know he got the strikeouts under control a little bit, but he seems like kind of like a Josh Lowe type player, honestly, but in AA.
Yeah, and he's a better defender than Josh Lowe, and his walk rates were just insane. I think he had over 12% walk rate. He really did well. I would like to see him kind of stick around. I think he's going to be really good. I think Greg Jones could be someone that gets moved for a rookie ball player. Austin Shenton could be another one. Basabe they could sell high on because I don't know if I truly believe in Basabe. Yeah, there's a lot of options that they could definitely explore.
Yeah, I know Basabe kind of like shot up a lot of people's prospect rankings this past offseason, and I do like the bat, but it's so many ground balls, and I mean, like, that's fine. Like, if you got the speed, like his speed is good, but he's not like, the best speed in the organization. So yeah, I don't know. I'd like to see how he does against AAA pitching, hopefully this next season. But yeah, he might be a guy that I would sell high on as well, because I don't really know. Like, if you have Xavier Edwards, I don't really see the need for Basabe, because Basabe to me seems like a less polished version of Xavier Edwards.
Yeah, I totally agree. And Edwards is a better defender as well.
Yeah, he was a really solid defender this season. So, okay, cool. I think that's all the questions, unless you had anything else from Twitter.
Nope, I did not.
Okay, cool. So, Rule 5 draft stuff. It's a little complicated, but it's also not that complicated. So basically, the Rule 5 draft is where players who are eligible, which I think it's like if they've played
4 years.
At least 4 seasons. Yes, in the minors after if age 19, was it?
Yeah, something like that.
I don't know the exact definition of that, but basically, like, if they've been playing long enough in the minors, they are eligible to be selected by another team. And then if they get selected, they have to stay on that other team's roster for the entire season. If they get an IL stint, like whatever, they can do that. But if they don't stick on the major league roster of another team and they get like optioned or DFA'd or whatever, they would get offered back to their original team. So teams aren't going to go and select like Heriberto Hernandez, for example. He has not played above high A. He will not be able to stick on a major league roster in 2023. Like, it's just, you can't make that jump. So, players like him don't necessarily need to be protected. It's mostly going to be AAA guys that need to be, protected from the Rule 5 draft. Maybe a couple AA guys, depending on, different teams' needs and how they might fit in different roles. But yeah, so it's not everybody is eligible. It's just a select group of players, and we do have a bit of a list here. So, we'll kind of go through the list as we name the guys we'd like to protect. But I think that pretty much covers it for like the basic, understanding of the Rule 5 draft, unless I'm missing something here.
No, you got it all. That's perfect.
Okay, cool. So basically, though, the problem, I guess it's not really a problem. It's just a situation the Rays are in, is that the whole league didn't have a Rule 5 draft in 2021. So there's more of a log jam than there normally would be. So it was great. They didn't have to, worry about a bunch of guys being taken by other teams in the Rule 5 draft. But now they're pretty much guaranteed to lose, at least a couple, if not a handful of players in the Rule 5 draft, because the Rays do have one of the deepest minor league systems in the league. So it's going to happen to somebody, but it's just a matter of who is it going to happen to. So who are some guys that you would want to reasonably protect in this Rule 5 draft?
Curtis Mead, 100%, and Taj Bradley. I think
Yeah.
those are the two locks to make the 40-man. I think Xavier Edwards probably has about an 85% chance to make the 40-man roster. And then I would also add Colby White. And then maybe Brett Wisely. He has a pretty nice bat. What about you?
Yeah, I agree with Mead. 100%. Like he's the real deal. It sucks that he got injured at the end of last season because I really wanted to see him kind of finish it out. And if he didn't get injured, like I think maybe he had a chance to get that last kind of roster spot that Mastroboni got. I don't know how much Mead would have produced, but he seemed like he was next up. So it was great for Mastroboni to get that. He's someone that I don't think is going to stick on the 40-man through this offseason, so hopefully he has success somewhere else. But Curtis Mead, 100% lock. Same with Taj Bradley. They're both going to play in the majors at some point next year, so those are both really exciting players that are pretty much guaranteed to stay on. And I know the Rays have a lot of players they need to protect, but I'd like to see them protect Xavier Edwards as well and Colby White. It doesn't really fit like the Rays' philosophy to dump a guy like Colby White coming off of Tommy John surgery. So, morally and like ethically what they like to do with their guys, it wouldn't make sense. And he's also a great talent too, so I'd like to see them protect him. On a side note, I don't really know what they're going to do with Brendan McKay because he's someone that I think they could and probably should dump, even though he is injured. So that would kind of be like a slap in the face. But yeah, what do you think they're going to do with Brendan McKay?
It just depends on kind of what they're going to do in free agency, how many 40-man spots they need. Like if they have an open one and they can save it and they feel like they can use it with Brendan McKay, they're definitely going to. I probably would just release him as it sucks, but baseball is a business, unfortunately. And 40-man spots, there's only 40, so.
Yeah, it seems like it would be really mean, but yeah, I agree. Like Brendan McKay, it seems like he's probably not going to pitch for the Rays ever again, or hit for the Rays really, because I know he was supposed to be that two-way superstar. Outside of those guys, yeah, I think you said Brett Wisely was the other one.
Yeah, I could definitely see him make it.
Yeah, I think 50, he's got a decent enough bat. Like he has some pop, like a little bit of extra base power.
He's kind of like Aranda, a little bit. Very similar to Jonathan Aranda. Little better defender, better athlete, maybe slightly worse bat, but very, very similar.
Yeah. Is he left-handed as well?
Yes, he is left-handed.
Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, I mean, if they have to pick like Aranda or Wisely, I feel like they'd pick Aranda just because he does have that, higher pedigree. He's got a little bit of experience. I know really like fell off at the end of last season. I'm not the biggest Aranda guy, but when it comes down to it, I think, maybe Wisely would be the odd man out in that situation just because they still do have Lau. They have Paredes who can play second. I don't think Wisely could handle third base. Probably not.
He played a little bit there.
Did he play there?
Yeah, he did. I don't know how good he was, but he played there.
Yeah, I mean, even third base is pretty tough too to crack with Yandy, but it also depends what they do at first base with Choi. So, a lot of moving pieces here. Yeah, outside of those guys, there's also Heriberto Hernandez. Like we said, he's Rule 5 eligible. I don't think he'll be protected, but I also don't think he'll be taken either. Like I think he's pretty safe down in high A. So. But Greg Jones, what do you think about him? Do you think I don't think he'll get protected, but do you think he could get selected?
No, I don't think so. Definitely not. Unless the team has a open 26-man spot that they want to use for a pinch runner, I guess. I
right.
I don't think he'll get taken. The bat is just definitely not good enough, or the glove.
No. And he would really just be a pinch running specialist essentially. So yeah, I don't really think he could fit on a roster anywhere, at least this season. I mean, maybe he'll put it all together next year, but he's already 24 now, so he's getting up there a little bit. Another one we talked a little bit about, Cam Meisner. I don't think he could fit on a major league roster yet. He's,
there's too
kind
much
of in the same boat as Jones. Yeah, and that's such a big part of it. But I think he's a better prospect than Greg Jones. So
100%.
he's someone I would want to maybe keep over him, but again, I don't think he'll be selected.
Yeah, definitely not. Just again, too much swing and miss.
Another guy on the list here, Jaden Murray. I know he's out in what is it?
He got
The
traded.
Arizona Fall League, or is it Tanner Murray? I always get those two
Yes,
mixed
Tanner
up.
Murray. There you go. Yes.
Okay, Tanner Murray. Okay, never mind. He's not Rule 5 eligible, so never mind. Were they brothers? I don't think they were brothers.
I have
were they?
no clue, honestly.
Okay, the Rays got to stop with the brother thing in the organization. It's too many similar names. It's too confusing. All right, but next, Oslevis Basabe. I don't think he could stick on a major league roster. I think he's safe. I don't really see the need to protect him. So
I agree.
And I don't really think he could contribute at the major league level in like a significant way. Like maybe he makes it as like a September roster expansion guy in 2023, but like he's not going to make the team out of spring training. He wouldn't be like the first one called up for an injury. So I see a lot of people like
added his way to a decent slash line.
That's true. Yeah, especially with no shift. Like if he's just going to hit ground balls in the hole every time, he could make that happen. But he's still pretty young too, so young players are usually not very good. So I don't know. It'll be cool to see him make the major someday, but I don't think it'll be with the Rays this year, maybe later, or on another major league team this year. So basically, I think he's safe. I don't know. What do you think about Shenton? I know he's probably not going to be selected, but do you think he might be a good trade candidate?
Yeah, I definitely think so. He's been pretty rough since joining the Rays. I really liked him when we acquired him. I thought he was going to be really great, but he is just not hit, and his defense and just the run is not there for him. So definitely a trade candidate for sure, but he's someone that definitely wouldn't get taken in my opinion. What do you think?
Right. Yeah, no, I think he's safe. I mean, there is such a log jam here, but the Rays do have so many guys in this log jam who are in, double A, high A that really don't pose any risk to being stolen. I like to see some of the eligible players for other teams because I know the Rays might be like targeted as like a team to get players from, but I think the Yankees do have a couple guys in AAA who are like maybe major league ready for like the right kind of role on a different roster. So hopefully someone at like Fangraphs or something like put something together because I'd be interested in that. Like maybe some kind of like Rule 5 like draft board.
Yeah, that'd be
or like a ranking thing. That'd be interesting. I don't think the Rays would take anybody in the Rule 5 draft just because of their own logjam, but maybe in like the minor league portion. So that's definitely something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, maybe a reliever if they can't find one via trade or free agency.
That's true. I mean, it's just as good as a trade at that point because you pay like $100,000 for a player that you take in the Rule 5 draft. So it's like cash considerations at that point.
Yeah.
Next, we've got Ronnie Simone. He's actually really playing well in the fall league right now. I think it's a team stat, so I'm not going to put too much stock into it, but I think he's leading the league in RBIs over there.
Yeah, he's been really great. He's flashed defensively. He's stolen a few bases. He's hit really well, has just a ton of power. Hit the ball really, really hard with the StatCast data that I've seen. He's going to be really fun.
Yeah.
I think Baseball America ranked him like the best defensive second baseman across Double A. So he's going to be really good, I think.
That's pretty good praise, too. That's awesome. And I know he's young. Yeah, really nice exit velos from the StatCast data we've had. I like him a lot. I think I don't know exactly where he'll fit, but I mean, he's still like, maybe a year to 2 years away from getting some major league playing time possibly. So we don't have to worry about that right now. Injuries are going to happen, trades are going to happen, and he'll eventually probably get a spot, but he's someone that I don't think needs to be protected, but I mean, he also kind of seems like a defensive replacement pinch runner. Like, I don't think the bat's good, but I don't think it's major league ready yet.
Yeah, definitely not. Again, too much swing and miss. He'll eventually get there, I think. I don't even think he played the full year in Double A anyways. I think it was
that's true, yeah,
a little less than half.
Yeah, because I remember like seeing like box scores, and it was like Kyle Manzardo homers and drives in Ronnie Simone for Bowling Green. So yeah, he's probably not going to hit the majors next year, but he's still really young, which is, that's fine.
Yeah, I believe he's like 22 years old.
Yeah. Any other Rule 5 guys here, like eligible Rule 5 guys that I missed? I mean, I think we covered most of them.
Yeah, I think we covered most of AA to AAA guys.
Yeah. Anyone in high A or low A that's eligible that you think might get traded just to kind of clear some space?
Heriberto, I think definitely.
Yeah, I guess we keep coming back to that.
I just don't see where he fits defensively. He's pretty poor in the outfield. He has a really good arm, but he's just pretty poor defensively, and he's not a great runner.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe they sell high on a guy like Alexander Ovaez, who had a really good year. He's someone that's Rule 5 eligible.
Right, yeah, that could happen too. That's true. There's also Blake Hunt. I forgot to bring him up.
Oh, yeah.
I know he was Rule 5 eligible last year. They decided not to protect him. He probably wasn't going to get taken anyways, just because the bat was like non-existent, and he was a AA catcher at the time. But he did improve a bit this year, and he's playing, fairly well in the fall league. I know it seems like it's a bit of a hitters league right now.
Yes.
A lot of high offensive numbers. I see like almost everybody on the Rays team, the team that the Rays players are on, they all have like high OPSs, except for Jason Dominguez. He's been pretty terrible, which is cool. Always like to see Yankees players do poorly. So
yeah, I think the league average OPS is like 820. It's unbelievable.
That's crazy. Well, that makes what Reifert's doing even more impressive then, because he's like dominating right now.
Yeah, he's been insane.
And I was trying to see like his in-zone whiff rates over there, and the pitch tracking isn't super accurate, but it looks like they're at least like 30%, and that's phenomenal. Anything over like 20% in zone is like above average, and then 25 is like, okay, that's pretty good, but like his are close to or maybe slightly above 30%. It's just impossible to do the math for that right now because the data is just not great, but he's been really great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you think Blake Hunt is someone, back to Blake Hunt, do you think he's someone that might have a chance to be taken? I know his defense is pretty decent.
I doubt it, just because the bat was like not great this year. He definitely improved. He started the year really bad and then improved. But yeah, the glove is really good, so maybe he gets taken. His pop times and his arm, again, just phenomenal. So yeah, he could definitely be taken, I think, just because great defensively. Anybody needs catcher depth.
Yeah, he could probably fit as like a third, maybe even a second, like a backup catcher on most teams. Like if a team has a really good first catcher who's going to get like, 70% of the playing time, he wouldn't be a terrible, defense first catcher. I mean, he's probably going to be one of the worst hitters in the league if he is taken, but I think I saw that his pop times are like below like 1.9 seconds or something like that. It was either 1.9 or 1.95. Either way, those are really good. So yeah, he's someone that could be taken, I think.
I agree.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. I know the Rays did promote a couple Rule 5 eligible guys this year, but I don't really think, they're going to stick around on the 40 man with like, Mastroboni is just one that I can think of off the top of my head. I don't see him sticking on the team. So there will be space on the roster to add all these guys, and then they'll have to bring back guys who are on the 60-day IL because they have to get added before like the deadline. So, and then they can get back on the 60-day, but it's going to be a crunch for sure.
Yeah, definitely cool to see for sure.
Yeah, lots of moving parts. I know we didn't get this question from like a listener, but I was thinking about it literally on my way to like logging in here to record. The past couple off seasons, the Rays have made some pretty like not big moves, but like, relatively big moves, for who they are, like moving Blake Snell in the winter meetings, moving Austin Meadows a little bit before the season starts. Is there a player that you think the Rays might move who kind of fits that same profile where they're like a solid contributor at the major league level, and then they move them before the season starts?
I could see Yandy Diaz. I think he's definitely someone that's a prime candidate if they believe in Isak Paredes to take more of a full time role. I could also see maybe Drew Rasmussen get moved, maybe if they feel comfortable with Taj Bradley and maybe Luis Coutinho.
Right.
Want to sell high on Drew. What about you?
Yeah, I was thinking Yandy as well. I just brought this up because I feel like the trades that they're going to make like that are probably going to happen sooner with the need for all the roster spots. So I don't think they're going to wait until like, a couple weeks before the season starts to move someone like they kind of did with Meadows. I think it's probably going to happen in the winter here in like December. So I'm really interested, and I wish we could just, fast forward time like 2 or 3 weeks so we could start getting to that point. But yeah, it is what it is. I'm just excited for all the pieces that are going to be moved around.
Mhm.
And I know we also have the Australian Baseball League starting up soon. We're going to get to watch Junior Caminero, Willie Vasquez over there. Should be pretty fun. I don't really know who's playing in the like Dominican League and stuff like that. I don't really.
I would
I
have
know
to
Heriberto Hernandez was like supposed to go down there, but I don't know if he's like actually playing there yet.
Yeah, I would have to find that. I have no clue, to be honest.
All right. So yeah, that just about covers it. Maybe next time or something we can talk about.
Did you want to get to Bent Connor's questions?
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot he had those things. So Ben, we didn't forget about you. Well, I forgot about you. Jacob didn't. So that's important. Yeah, let's definitely get those pulled up real quick.
Yeah, he asked about Heriberto if he would make the 40 man, and we kind of went over that and said no.
Yeah, that's true. We were not super high on him.
Yeah, he asked how many players that we will protect. I think 4, definitely, maybe 5, maybe even 6.
Yeah, I think this could be a year where they do protect a lot. So I don't know if I set the over under at 4.5. Like what are you taking on how many players they would protect?
Depending on the odds on the over under, I would probably take the over.
Yeah, I think so too. Because I mean, like Taj and Mead are like guaranteed. I feel like White and Edwards are very close to guaranteed, and that's 4 right there. Yeah, it just depends for that 5th one.
Yeah, I think Wisely or Basabe could definitely get one. And then he asked if Basabe was going to be taken if he wasn't added. I think there's a possibility, but I doubt it.
Yeah, I don't think he gets taken. I also don't think he would get added, honestly. Like I'll draw the line there. I'll say that I don't think he gets. I think he could, but I really don't believe he will, just because he couldn't contribute next year, and the Rays would just end up getting him back, and they'd be $50,000 richer. So maybe they could pass that money along to the fans, maybe lower ticket prices by a couple cents. I don't know. He also asked about Meisner. Yeah.
And then I don't think he'll get added, but really like him long term.
Yeah, long term for sure. But yeah, it just seems like there are a lot of players who like they're gonna kind of like call other teams bluffs and just not add them. And then if they lose them, whatever, it happens. But the Rays have had a pretty good history with like leaving players exposed. I was looking back at like the different players that were taken by other teams from the Rays in the Rule 5 draft. The only significant one is Joey Rickard, but like he had one good season, and he was only good when he played against the Rays, and then his career just completely fell off after that season. Everybody else has been like a pitcher that just either didn't work out super well or ended up getting sent back to the Rays because the team didn't want them on their team anymore. So the most recent was Paul Campbell, taken by the Marlins. If you don't know that name, it makes sense because he didn't really do anything significant. He's still in the Marlins organization, but he's not that great. So yeah, the Rays basically have a good history with like making the right decisions with what players they want to protect. So I think they'll still do that this year, but I think we're still going to see more players than usual, taken from the organization.
Yep, I agree.
But yeah, anything else? I'm trying to see if I got any more like last minute questions, but I think that's about it for all of our topics here.
Yeah, I think I got to all my questions. So
Oh, I got one more from Jake Larson. Why? Well, actually, it's more than one question. Why does this isn't really related to Rule 5? Why does Baseball Reference love Jeffrey Springs? I think because Jeffrey Springs is pretty good.
Yep, easily.
I don't know. Yeah, I think the in zone whiff rates, the contact rates are very, very good, and the Rays kind of saw that he could do that, even if he's throwing like 91 miles an hour. So yeah, I think Springs is great.
Incredible.
Definitely. He also asked, why is Ray's fandom so short leash towards Jose Siri? I don't know if they are. I haven't. So
Yeah,
I said
see
Siri,
a lot of
and then my. Oh no,
Siri
go ahead.
fans.
Sorry.
Yeah, I see a lot of Jose Siri supporters. So I haven't really seen much hate.
I have to be careful when I say his name because my computer thinks I'm talking to it, and then it like starts doing the thing, and then I think it like it makes everything else cut out, like all the sound. So yeah, I don't see too much hate for the player named Jose that plays center field. Yeah, I don't know. Do you see any of that?
No, I don't.
You kind of cut out when I said his name. So
Yeah, I don't
okay.
see any hate. I see more fans than haters for sure.
He also asked about Siri. Oh, I said it again. Hold on. Is Jose going to be a 2020 guy this year?
Probably not. That's pretty bold. Could see it though.
Yeah, I don't see the power. I could see him maybe being like a 10 home run and like 50 stolen base guy, more than, a 20, but yeah, he doesn't really have the power. He did post his highest career exit velo after he joined the Rays, but I think that was more just because he's getting consistent playing time. I don't think they really like unlocked any kind of power with him, but they don't really need him to be a power hitter either. Like he just has to just run.
Play defense, honestly.
Yeah. Okay, sorry, I had to take a quick sip of kombucha there. Anything else before we wrap it up?
No, that's all I have.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you everybody for listening. Don't forget to buy shirts. I feel like maybe we could sell socks. I think socks would be a cool item too. I just thought of that because somebody walked by me wearing some socks that were kind of cool. Yeah, but buy shirts from shop.rblrsports.com. Use promo code FLAPPY, FLAPPY. You get 10% off your order. If you made it this far, you might as well just subscribe, like, follow, get all those notifications. We will appreciate all that support. So yeah, thank you everybody for listening, and go Rays.
Thank you for tuning into this presentation by RBLR Sports. On your way out of the stadium, please remember to like and subscribe.